Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Zooty Pickups. In today's video, we'll be talking about the Fear of God X Nike Raids in the light bone colorway. So these shoes came out April 27th of 2019 for a retail price of $190. They came out as part of the second collaboration capsule between Nike and Fear of God's Jerry Lorenzo. Obviously, the first capsule contained the coveted Fear of God 1s and the shoot-arounds, which were extremely hard to get, very limited quantities. I really wanted a pair of those, but I could not get them. But this time around, for the second collaboration capsule, Jerry and company decided to come out with two different mid-top silhouettes. So the one I have here are the Raids, and you can see they have this X-shaped elastic, and the second one, put up a picture right there, was the mocks or the moccasins, and they were kind of like more of like a mid-cut chucka boot type of silhouette. So I think most people kind of gravitated towards the Raids because these look a little bit more like the original Fear of God 1s, and I have to say this time around I think quantities were much higher than the first collaboration capsule because I was able to get this pair somewhat without problem on sneakers, and that normally never happens for me. So yeah, before I talk about this shoe specifically, I kind of want to talk about the significance of this Fear of God collaboration, not only this capsule, but the previous capsule. Usually when Nike does a collaboration shoe, they never actually like make a brand new shoe or a brand new silhouette. That's really unheard of. And the collaboration that they had with Fear of God and Jerry Lorenzo, they actually have a brand new, they came out with a brand new silhouette. And I was watching this design interview with Jerry Lorenzo, and he was saying that, you know, if you want, he really wanted to do a collaboration with Nike, but he wanted it to do it his way. He wanted his own shoe silhouette. So he pretty much started from scratch. You know, he made his own lasts, went to Italy, like did all that stuff to build the shoe from the ground up. And the shoe that we got was the Air Fear of God 1 and pretty much all these other derivatives of that shoe, including this Air Raid. So I thought that was pretty impressive, you know, to get your own silhouette for Nike and not even being an athlete. So this specific silhouette here, the Raid silhouette, takes heavy inspiration from one of Jerry Lorenzo's favorite shoes, the Air Raid 180. It's basically like this shoe from the early 90s that Jerry saw when he was younger, and he instantly fell in love with it, and he said it was kind of like the shoe that kindled his passion for sneakers. So I guess he decided to pay homage to that shoe by creating his version of the Air Raid in the form of the Fear of God X Nike Raids. So so that being said, let's kind of examine this shoe and see what's all going on here. Starting up with the upper is mainly consisted of two different materials. You have this bone colored suede here, and then you have this bone colored neoprene material that consists of the toe box area and the tongue essentially. The bone colored suede it's extremely supple. This is like probably one of the softest suedes I've ever felt on a sneaker. Very high quality materials have been used here. I think this is probably the same material that they used on the Fear of God 1s and the shoot-arounds. I obviously do not have a pair in hand to compare them with, but I can't imagine it being any higher quality than this. This is definitely like very high quality leather that they used. So very happy with that. Also, in stark contrast with this light bone suede, they used a black suede swoosh on the lateral and medial side to kind of like really give the shoe that kind of like Nike pop. So moving on to the toe box, I said the toe box was made out of this neoprene material. The neoprene material is stretchy, but also rigid at the same time and has some breathability, so this was an excellent choice. I think the previous Fear of God 1, so I think the previous shoes, the Fear of God 1s, you know, they were all kind of made out of that suede material, which I think a lot of people were kind of complaining that it wasn't the most breathable shoe, and considering the fact that it was supposed to be kind of like a performance silhouette, you know, people were saying that when you played ball in it, like your foot would get really sweaty just because like it was the entire, like basically because it was a boot made out of suede, right? So I think maybe they tried to address it this time by adding these more breathable neoprene panels here on the toe box and on the tongue. As you can see here, they did add some decorative stitching here to the toe box to kind of give it a little more visual interest. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for the toe box. So let's move on to the, I guess like the main design highlight, which is the X elastic straps going across the front. And as you can see, it covers a significant portion of the front of the shoe here and kind of like the top area of the shoe. So this is like a big part of the design. And I gotta say, it kind of works on this shoe. At first, when I saw the initial pictures for this, I was like, you know, I'm not quite sure about that. I don't know how that's gonna work. But then I saw more pictures that start to grow on me, and now that I have them in hand and put them on foot, I gotta say, they go pretty hard. This is like one of those things, like when you see them in person, they're definitely a lot cooler than they seem to be in pictures. So yeah, this is definitely one of those shoes. So the process of getting these straps on is actually kind of complicated. So let me undo them so I can show it to you. So you basically have to undo these Velcros here, get them out of this loop, and this entire X thing kind of like comes apart. And as you can see here, right here on the main lace loop on the middle of the tongue, you have a little bit of Velcro. So you have to put the medial side strap over first. This is like, the order is actually important because you have to get the Velcro order right. So you got to get the medial side strap first, cross it over, get it stuck on that Velcro on the lace loop right there. And then you get the lateral side Velcro. There's a patch here on the medial side Velcro that connects with the patch on the inner side of the lateral side Velcro. Goes like that, and boom, you're set. So once you're kind of set and made that X-shaped pattern, you basically just take the ankle straps, send them through this loop right here, and Velcro it back on to the ankle. And that's pretty much it. Same thing on the other side. Take the strap right here, send them through the loop, twist them around, and there you go right there. So as you can see here, when the Velcro is done up, it kind of takes up a lot of room on the shoe, which is kind of a bummer because the inside of the shoe, the tongue area right here where you don't see, it definitely has a lot of cool design details. So I'm gonna undo this again so I can show you guys. So take this Velcro off. As you can see, there's a lot of cool stuff going on here. So as you can see, the shoe has a traditional tongue, unlike the previous version, the Fear of God 1s, which is kind of like a booty with like a zipper on the back. So this shoe kind of reminds me almost like of Nike SB Janoski Mid. It has a very similar vibe to it. In terms of like the shape and the paneling without this X strap anyway. But there's a lot of Fear of God DNA in here that you can see from the original Fear of God 1s. For example, this webbing that goes down the middle of the tongue all the way down to the middle of the toe box. The lace kind of goes in very low on top of the toe box, exactly like on the Fear of God 1s. And they also use the exact same thick laces that they use on the Fear of God 1s as well. So that Fear of God DNA is just kind of like melted in here. Also on top of that, you got a lot of like cool stitching details going on right here on the tongue. You can see the neoprene tongue. Basically a lot of cool things going on. I've actually seen some people on Instagram actually wear it like this, where they have the strap kind of attached across the midfoot area, kind of like this, kind of like a Yeezy 750, I guess. I don't know how I feel about that. It doesn't really work for me because like these kind of flap around. It's not meant to be worn that way, but if you want to, that's definitely an option for you. Moving around to the inside of the shoe, you can see that there is some Air Fear of God branding here on the inside of the tongue. And pretty much the inside of the shoe is lined with the same kind of very soft plush neoprene material that the toe box and the tongue is made out of. So it gives for a very soft and supple wearing sensation. And so it makes for a very soft and comfortable wearing sensation. So moving on to the inside, we have a non-removable Air Fear of God insole that's done up in black. So, but yeah, apart from that, I'd say it's like a very minimal shoe. There's not a whole lot going on. So yeah, let's move on to the midsole / outsole. So like I mentioned earlier, this is a proprietary midsole / outsole that was built from the ground up for the Fear of God series of shoes. So the version of the midsole here on the Raids and the Machs are actually not the same midsole as you see on the Air Fear of God 1s. They're a slightly lower version of the midsole, but I think it has the same kind of like technology and kind of like overall design aesthetic. So as you can see, you got the runner's kind of like toe cap right here, and then you got the rectangular air unit that you can see, the see-through air unit. That has been kind of like the signature design detail of the Air Fear of God 1. Also, I do think, don't quote me on this, so the Air Fear of God 1 has this dual layer air system, meaning that there's a full length of Zoom Air, and then you got the little heel pocket of regular Nike Air. And I think this shoe has the same system because when I put it on, it's super comfortable, and they never really mentioned otherwise on the website. But you know, like I said, I don't quote me on it. That's just what it feels like. But yeah, there's some other cool design details here. As you can see here on the lateral side, it does say Air 180, homage to the Air Raid 180, Fear of God, and SN 8329166, which apparently was Jerry Lorenzo's grandfather's serial number while he was serving in the military during World War II. Moving on to the heel, you see that we have some Nike Air branding right there. That's actually different from the other Fear of God 1s that say Fear of God on the heel. Here it says Nike Air. But yeah, apart from that, I think that's pretty much it with the midsole. Let's move on to the outsole. So the outsole, as you can see, the tread pattern is also totally different from the Air of God 1s, which kind of had a ripple tread pattern. Here you have this repeating square tread pattern, and then you can see the icy blue transparent section here with the Nike swoosh right there done in black. So overall very cool, and I think it's really cool how you can see the Nike Air unit down there as well. So that's a pretty cool design touch. Very futuristic looking shoe almost, you know. You kind of get the Air Mag vibes from this shoe, you know, with the bone color and the light blue and stuff like that. So overall very cool and futuristic design. So yeah, I think now that we got all the features and design details out of the way, we should talk about comfort and fit. So in terms of fit, these fit pretty roomy, mostly true to size. A lot of people are saying you need to size down half a size. I think you should not. You should just go true to size. This is definitely a roomier shoe than most Nike shoes. However, most Nike shoes fit a little small. So this shoe actually fits pretty comfortably. There's a lot of toe room, and this neoprene upper, it's stretchy. So it gives your toes a little bit of room to wiggle around. So I went true to size and it fits me perfectly. I recommend you do the same. In terms of comfort, the comfort is actually really good. I was not expecting this much comfort from this shoe. You got that, well, supposed double layer of air, the Zoom Air and the Nike Air unit, which kind of gives the shoe a very cush on-foot feel. But the thing that really made the difference for me was this this neoprene liner on the inside. It just makes the shoe feel so soft. It's like a little pillow surrounding your foot. And the X straps here on the upper actually do a lot for just kind of like lockdown and overall support of your midfoot. So I don't know, I think maybe that contributed, but the shoe definitely felt super secure and pretty good on feet. So very high points for comfort. Which is pretty cool because honestly, I wasn't really expecting this shoe to be very comfortable at all. So finally, let's talk a little bit about wearability and applicability and fits. So this is kind of a difficult shoe to wear. Not as difficult as the original Fear of God 1s, the high top ones. Those were actually super hard to wear. They're almost kind of like costume shoes, I want to say. But these, you know, the mid-top versions, they're a little bit easier to pull off. The color is a very neutral kind of like bone colorway, very light. All the Instagram pictures, all the promotional pictures show these shoes being worn with like kind of like baggier, kind of like sweatpants, warm-up pants and stuff like that, with that like 90s-esque vibe. And I think that's kind of what you're supposed to do with them. However, I think due to the futuristic nature of this shoe, you can kind of like make him work in like tech wear fits with a little more tapered pants. I personally don't own really like baggy sweatpants like the ones in the promotional shoots, so I think I'm gonna wear mine with kind of like more tapered tech wear pants, like black pants or olive pants or something like that. But definitely a lot more wearable than the previous capsule collection, so that's good. So yeah, I think I've covered everything I wanted to say about this shoe. I'm pretty glad they made this round of shoes a little more available. Obviously, these are not the Fear of God ones that I wanted, but I think this is a pretty good consolation prize and I'm happy with it. So yeah, I'm gonna throw these on foot so you guys can see what they look like. And once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.